So Thepchaiya Un-Nooh breaks off in the first frame of Snooker's World Open final against Ronnie O'Sullivan, best of 19. And I know for a fact Dominic Dale is looking forward to this, Dom.
Yes, hello everybody. I'm really looking forward to this. Thepchaiya can be such an exciting player. He's been playing some wonderful snooker this week. Let's hope he's not overawed by playing somebody who you must hold in the highest esteem in Ronnie O'Sullivan. Every player does, for what he's achieved and the way he plays the game, of course. Up to 30th now in the rankings provisionally, Thepchaiya. If you go up to 22, should he win this final? Lot of snooker to be played, and I think Thepchaiya just wants to settle down here and contest this first session with Ronnie, because that will be quite a task.
I think that's right. He's got to stay with him, hasn't he, in this session? As I say, when they played at the Crucible that time, it went 6-0 to O'Sullivan, and the match was kind of done. Last time he was in the World Open final, Thepchaiya, 2019 against Trump, he went 7-2 down and lost 10-5. If he were to win, he would get in the Tour Championship as well, so that's an extra incentive. But what a extraordinary match it was yesterday with Trump. He missed the easiest pink in the world to win, 6-4, but eventually potted a really tough black to win 6-4, and that kind of is him in a nutshell. You're never quite sure what you're going to get.
And you can never predict the way these frames are likely to go, can you? I mean, Thepchaiya broke off and immediately tied the black up. It's still tied up. And already a little more safe being played than possibly expected. No opportunities of pots being given yet. But as I say, Thepchaiya, I mean, what can you say about his style of play? One of the fastest players has ever played the game. 219 career centuries, 6 of them have been 147s. Very exciting play, exhilarating almost when he's at his best. But that's a super safety shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. The cue ball tight to the bolt cushion. And striking the cue ball smoothly and cleanly, accurately, very difficult from a cushion rail, and this has to be struck accurately. And it was well played. Cue ball may go in off. I think it will. It has, but it was still a good shot, nevertheless, from Thepchaiya. But as that in off caused a problem. Well, Ronnie tried to block off this right-hand side of the table. There's a chance of a cuttable red to the left corner here. Still nicely cued though, good cue ball.
O'Sullivan would be the second oldest ranked event winner if he were to triumph today. Of course, Mark Williams, a little bit older when he won the Zhang Grand Prix earlier this season. But significantly, of course, O'Sullivan, he's already won ranking events in his teens, 20s, 30s and 40s. So he would complete the set by winning one in his 50s.
Ronnie be a little disappointed that he didn't spot the potential for that red to go towards the right corner, but it seemed to be safe. And at last, the black has been sprung out into the open somewhat. Still very awkward though, as you can see. So Ronnie O'Sullivan pots the first ball of this final. Doesn't appear to have landed on a colour.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Well, it's a bit of a standoff early on, but as Dominic said, sometimes the balls just dictate that. These two, in terms of average shot times this season, Ronnie O'Sullivan just went past Thepchaiya this week into second place. Thepchaiya third. Marco Fu, who Thepchaiya beat earlier this week, is actually top. But these two both under 18 seconds a shot for the season. Well, this is good stuff early on. This is the other side of the game, and a very important side.
And I think, Dave, this is the sort of first frame that Thepchaiya could do with as well. Plenty of shots, lots of them safety shots, of course, but time to just settle down and drink this whole atmosphere in. The fact he's in such a major final here and playing, of course, the game's greatest ever player.
Well, they've both got the pace of the table. Yeah, I think you have to sort of guard against hero worship, don't you? I remember Ken Doherty saying it when he first time he qualified for the Crucible. He drew Steve Davis, you know, the great player of the 1980s who he'd watched so many times, and he said he spent the first 4 frames just watching Steve rather than actually thinking about the match, and he had to sort of, at the interval, snap himself out of it because he was there to do a job, i.e. win the match. And of course, in a final, you have every much of a right to be there as your opponent. They both played really well. Thepchaiya, until yesterday, wasn't really pushed. He won all his matches comfortably.
I think as a commentator, snooker's a fascinating sport. I mean, all the years I've played the game and commentated, I don't think I've ever seen a line of 6 reds around the black spot like that, because they're all virtually touching one another. It's extraordinary.
Well, this is an early tester. And in it goes. Nicely done.
1.
And I think it's worth mentioning as well that Ronnie O'Sullivan, although he's psychologically the greatest player that's probably ever played, I mean, you have to put people like Stephen Hendry in that category as well, and others besides, but he'd be happier playing Thepchaiya, I suppose, than Judd Trump.
6.
Because of what Judd's achieved in the game and how well he can play in a final. It won't be quite so easy for Thepchaiya, perhaps. But here's a chance to bring reds into play. My goodness me, he has. He's just looking for a handy kiss
7.
here. Well, he's avoided the blue, but I don't think it passes the red to the corner pocket. And the brown's too thin. It would have to be the black, and that's most certainly missable. And this is another great thing about snooker, isn't it? Ronnie's just developed all the reds there and put a few into potable positions. But if he misses the black, he's done all that hard work for Thepchaiya.
$14. $15.
Ronnie would love to have been on the pink in such a way as to nudge that red away from the pink spot. I don't know if he has that angle. He didn't have, so the pink will now have to go on to the brown spot, the next highest available.
21. $22.
Ronnie would love to get rid of the red that's closer to that left corner next, because once that's removed, the red that's closest to the black will then pot into the left corner, and that would bring the black into play.
27. $28. $33. 34. $41. 42.
Well, when it came to the table, it took some working out, didn't it? Because the balls were in odd positions, as Dominic had stated, but nobody's ever kind of
39.
worked it out more instinctively than Ronnie O'Sullivan.
50.
Just sort of sees the patterns immediately. He was actually in Yushan a week before the tournament, and he went to the
57.
Billiards and Snooker Museum, which is just over the road, to look at the history of the game.
58.
Little did we know he would create more this week. That 1-5-3 break, I'm sure, will be on a screen somewhere. And this has been a delightful break as well, because it wasn't straightforward. But already we've arrived there at frame ball, that
65.
black. So after a little safety standoff, when the chance
66.
came, he's taken it well. And it's a slightly ominous sign already. It's only frame one, but you're hoping to see a few nerves, even in O'Sullivan early on. Well, we haven't in this frame. If you're Thepchaiya, that's what you want to see. But in fact, it's a frame-winning break.
73.
Well, he may play on because it's frame one. He may just want to hit a few, but in fact he stays at his seat. So 73, the break in frame one from Ronnie O'Sullivan. We're off and running in the World Open final. He's won 4 ranking titles in China, plus several times the Shanghai Masters as an invitation title. In fact, his first ranking title in China was back in 1999, last century.
difference here in this second frame is that the black is an open play from the very first, and that could make for a more entertaining frame perhaps, or more attacking frame anyway. Is Thepchaiya taking red on here? No. Didn't do a lot wrong in that previous frame. Thepchaiya just left one long red for Ronnie, which he knocked in. But he did very, very well to win that frame in a single scoring visit, Ronnie. Oh, so nearly went in off there. But Thepchaiya could, in theory, cut that red into the left centre. There is a channel back down and back up towards Bolt for the cue ball.
One.
Well, we've seen all week, and certainly yesterday, he'll take his shots on Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. He'll go for them. Whether he'll get them, of course, is another matter, but he's a gutsy player in that sense.
6.
Very well played. He did well actually from the previous red to hold for the black, because these cushion rails are playing very, very quickly.
13.
He was in a fraction there of overrunning for the black. But now he's right
14.
in with a chance of his own to level this match up, potentially. There are two reds at the bottom of the pack that may be a plant as well for the left corner. And that could be potentially very useful. Although he's a little low on the red, so he can't run
21.
through for the black now unless he decides to brush off the pack of reds. He's just had a look at those two reds at the back of the pack, because he could potentially play them now if they were a plant.
22.
Goodness me. I have to say, did
29.
not play the black at all well there. Completely miscontrolled the path of the cue ball, and as you saw, glance that red, nearly cut it in, but it's finished very nicely in the end, and the straighter he is on this red, the better. Can screw back for the blue. Couldn't quite do that, so had to play down for the black. He needs an angle on it. Doesn't seem to have much. It's just something there that can be made into a plant within that pack of reds.
Well, that's quite a horrible way to end
30.
the break, with a miscue. You always hope that the tip's okay after something like this. Just applying a bit of chalk to it, but that was... It felt like the break was kind of unravelling though, didn't it, before that? He was lucky to be on that red to the middle in the first place.
Well, it was a decent strike of the cue ball, but the cue ball has only just crept into bulk. He'll be pleased that Ronnie didn't take a pot on there, because these balls are set up beautifully now. One more mistake from Thepchaiya and this second frame could quickly disappear, even though he has a 30 points advantage. But that's a good safety from Ronnie. And that's the thing with Ronnie, he really does have every facet of the game at his command and can cause all sorts of problems. And he may have caused a problem here for Thepchaiya. There isn't an easy path back to bolt, particularly with that red that's near the left-hand side cushion there, which could easily be in Thepchaiya's way.
Well, he was going well, but now it's handed the initiative back to O'Sullivan. Of course, he's already nicely warmed up after the 73 in frame one. This is his 66th ranking final. Ronnie O'Sullivan looking for title number 42. And remember, his first came in November 1993, the UK Championship.
And that, Dave, you know, was just a year after he turned professional. And when the game went open in 91 and 92, I mean, there were hundreds of professional players. So it's an incredible achievement. Still a teenager, of course, then.
Absolutely, Dom. And not only that, it was the UK Championship. It wasn't just any old tournament. It was one of the biggest, most established events. He beat Stephen Hendry in the final. What a way to sort of launch yourself on the snooker world.
$15. $22. $23.
Well, the black will level the scores. If you were to pop 5 reds with 5 fairly high value colours, you wouldn't need the very awkward red near that left hand side cushion.
30.
And in potting this red to the centre pocket, that brings into play both the reds next to it. Oh, he's missed it. I am surprised, and Ronnie's very disappointed there, because that was the one ball he needed to pot to have the frame at his mercy.
Well, I was going to say, you know, that could be an early significant moment, but it's not if Thepchaiya misses immediately, which is what he's done.
One.
Saw O'Sullivan when he missed. There was a slight reaction, disappointment, but you know, it feels like about 3 days ago now, doesn't it? Because Thepchaiya couldn't take advantage, so O'Sullivan can forget about his own mistake and just try and put this frame away now and really pile some early pressure on.
And taking into account the psychology of it all, Thepchaiya had that chance and he's missed, so he's got something to think about in his chair. So if Ronnie were to win this frame from here,
17.
he's probably created more of a psychological point over his opponent than if he'd have won it with the previous attempt when he missed that red. And the equation's still the same. Doesn't necessarily need that red that's tight to the side cushion
24.
there. 24 points to lead. So this
25.
black and the red up in bulk will do very nicely. Could potentially play for the brown from that red in bulk. He doesn't need a high value colour to make the frame safe.
Yeah, he's just
32.
checking that. It'd be 33 in front with the red, so green would be all right, actually.
33.
Well, you could leave a double on this red. Doesn't want to do too much here with the cue ball. Okay, he's played around the angles. He won't be attempting the pot on the red now, but
37.
could play a good safety.
On your sudden, 37.
Well, you never know what can happen because, of course, the first frame of the semi-final yesterday, Thepchaiya knew 41 in front on the yellow against Judd Trump and lost the frame. So he knows things can turn around. This white's close to the middle. He's okay.
Oh, goodness, Ronnie was lucky there that that red didn't run another ball's width because Thepchaiya could have just stroked the cue ball in behind the blue very easily.
Yeah, I understand there'll be a lot of people watching who are O'Sullivan fans, but I think everyone always wants to see a good final. You want to see a close match, high quality. And these early frames, they can be significant because the match can get away from you in this opening session if you're not careful. The only thing here, if he does successfully get the penalty points, every colour is potable, isn't it? There's nothing on a cushion, so this is a slight issue maybe. If he gets the snooker.
I wonder if it's worth considering potting the red and a pink or red and the black here. Because if you do that, you have the choice of where you put that cue ball to try and give yourself the opportunity of laying the snooker that you need.
One.
And that's pretty good. You play the cue ball, well, where he decides to play it to get the snooker he needs on the yellow. Because he only needs one snooker. Well, he hasn't played the best shot there. He was just a little straighter on the black than he wanted to be. But now he's got the cue ball in a great position. In behind the bulk colour. Can chip off the green, get the cue ball in behind the black, or you can try and screw in behind the brown.
SHOWDOWN, 10.
Oh, that's a super shot from Thepchaiya. This is not an easy escape for Ronnie O'Sullivan by any means. Judging the angle of this will not be easy. 2 cushions running side. He's managed to clip the green though, played it absolutely perfectly.
Well, it was a great escape from O'Sullivan,
3.
and now he's potted the green. So he's 30 in front with 22 on.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 3.
Thepchaiya going to stay in his seat. He had chances in that frame. He miscued. Then, of course, when O'Sullivan missed, he immediately missed. So Ronnie O'Sullivan on top early on in the World Open final, leading 2-0.
Serve for him.
Well, it's still
Thepchaiya
early
will play.
stages of this World Open final, but Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh didn't do anything wrong really in the first frame, but second frame there were mistakes, and he needs, I guess, a sort of clear-cut chance. Just get his hand on the table, try and make a few, get involved. He's still, as I say, early, but equally he's playing the greatest player ever, who, one thing he knows what to do, O'Sullivan, is win. And I'm sensing an early chance in this session to start to take control of the match.
Interestingly though, Thepchaiya's broken off twice, and twice he's tied the black up. This time he's decided to remedy that by removing the red away from it.
Yeah, an open game suits him. You know, O'Sullivan, he's a terrific safety player. We've seen that already in this match. So the more open, the better. As long as, if the chance comes, he actually does the business. He's had 8 centuries, Thepchaiya in the tournament, as has O'Sullivan. So they've both scored heavily.
Well, it was certainly worth having a go at that red, but there may be a cuttable one into the same pocket for Ronnie O'Sullivan here to attempt. Oh, he's knocked it in as clean as a whistle as well. Now,
1.
is he on a bolt colour? No, and he'd be certainly a brave man to take the blue on. I don't think he will.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Well, that's a big misjudgment from Thepchaiya. He's got to hope that Ronnie doesn't take this red on. But Ronnie O'Sullivan's such a capable left-handed player. Is there anything this man can't do? And in goes the red, he's on the black.
1.
He's in straight away again in this third frame.
Well, it's 30 years now, literally 30 years since that controversy with Alain Robidoux at the Crucible, when O'Sullivan played left-handed, won easily, and Alain kind of took offence, thought he was sort of taking the mickey out of him. It was a storm in a teacup. I mean, they made up pretty quickly, but back then it wasn't a thing, was it, being ambidextrous in snooker? It was thought of as otherworldly almost. But, you know, if you're capable of doing it, why not?
I remember this, and you know, Alain is such a lovely chap, you know, but he took great umbrage at what Ronnie O'Sullivan did to him. Really, it was very demeaning, I suppose, you know, to annihilate somebody when you're playing with your opposite
16.
hand. And I was, you know, Alain actually asked me my thoughts on it all, and I just didn't want to be any part of the conversation, you know.
I don't blame you.
17.
Anyway, in the dim and distant past now, all of that. Here we are in 2026, and he's still going strong with both hands.
Lots of top
24.
spin and left-hand side on the cue ball, which was running side, accelerated the cue ball off the two cushions. And he's certainly on a red. No guarantee of position to a colour from it, though. Oh, dear, dear, that's worked out like a charm. He's even potted two reds, and just
26.
look at the way he's opened them out. If this black goes in, 3-0 will be the scoreline in no time at all, I'm sure.
$33.
The World Open, it's what's known as a flat draw tournament. So
34.
128 players all starting in the very first round. And Ronnie O'Sullivan hasn't actually won a tournament of that format since 2018, the UK Championship, where you have to play every day. It's worth saying he did have a walkover in this event. Ishpreet Singh Chadha pulled out, but even so, he's won a lot of the other types of events, including the World Championship, UK Championship, coming in at a later stage. But these events where you have to go to the well every single day have not been successful for him of late, but here we are. He's poised, as Dominic says, for 3-0. And so far he's played very nicely in this final.
49. 50.
Oh dear, that was a very, very fast bounce from that side cushion. He is still on the black, but he'll do very well to control the cue ball with this. I don't expect him to miss this black. And he hasn't. Now, how's he on the next red? Well, he's absolutely fine, as you can see.
57. 58. 64. 65.
Well, this frame is over now. Already 3 snookers required, but there's no way Thepchaiya will be returning to the table. And he's beginning
70.
to free himself up now, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
71.
Playing with complete freedom. Playing quicker, more decisively. More importantly,
77.
from Ronnie's point of view, he's very relaxed.
Well, just in control of himself and the match as well. Our colleague Rudy Bowens, who commentates for Dutch Eurosport, has come up with an extraordinary stat. He said the first century of the final would be the 1,000th made in a ranking final. So Rudy must have been up for about a week
81.
looking that up, but here we go, this could be it. And what better player to do it?
82.
Rudy Bowens, I haven't met him for decades.
89. 90.
Well, concerning times for him, because it seems every slight error is being punished. And any early nerves O'Sullivan may have had have been banished. He's sensing a big
27.
opportunity clearly here to take a full grip on the final in the first session.
99.
So here we go, the first century then of the World Open final. This will be the 9th for O'Sullivan of the tournament.
102. 106.
And this is what Ronnie O'Sullivan could do to any player when he's at his best. It can be very demoralising playing Ronnie O'Sullivan when you're falling behind and you haven't got a frame on the board.
A 117.
So 124 clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan, the first century of the World Open final, and he extends his lead to 3-0. Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh with plenty to think about here. Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh did have his best chance in the second frame. He miscued, and then when O'Sullivan missed a red, he immediately missed. And that's already looking like the biggest moment so far, because that was a chance to just get on the scoreboard and get involved. It's a huge match for him. He's won the shootout, which was a great achievement, but it's only his second regular ranking final. The first was in this event, 2019. Judd Trump beat him there 10-5. So it would be his greatest achievement, clearly, were he to win today. But firstly, he needs to get involved.
He'll still be very tense and nervous. He'll probably feel a lot worse now because he's 3-0 behind, but he hasn't got a frame on the board yet. He's had the odd chance, as Dave has already mentioned. He just needs a frame on the board to settle down. If he doesn't get a frame on the board soon, he's going to start to really struggle, I feel. Has a chance of a long red here. I wouldn't necessarily suggest he should take one on. He can get the cube in behind the brown here off 3 or 4 cushions. But he caught the red just a little thickly. But it's still a very good cue ball in terms of its placement. The left-hand side of the table completely blocked off now.
Well, of course, the final by no means over, but if O'Sullivan does win, then it really shakes up the narrative for the Crucible, the World Championship next month, because he's been quiet most of the season, hasn't played as much as the other top players. As Thepchaiya looks to cut the red in. Great shot.
1.
I guess the cue ball could have finished in a kinder spot, though.
Yeah, it was a great cut back, this. Went in nice and cleanly, could have easily left it. Certainly had to take the blue on in terms of giving himself the chance to be on the next red, but as you can see, it's going to be from distance. He's looking for one more good pot here. He can play for the black from a red to the right corner. Okay, he's playing different red to the one I suggested, or was going to suggest. But you see, that was the one ball. He knew if he misses that, he's going to give Ronnie O'Sullivan an opportunity, or he thinks he would. And there was pressure on it, and it got the better of him.
Yeah, I mean, we saw he got nowhere near the pot, so that was some sort of chance to get going.
I think, Dave, that red next to the cue ball will pot, and if it does, Ronnie could play for the pink to the left centre from it.
One.
Well, it wasn't the best contact there, and Ronnie, as we know, uses the old-fashioned, shall we say, brand of chalk, and kicks
Yellow
are
ball.
prevalent with it, and he suffered one there.
Roger Sullivan. One.
Just swallowed his medicine, though, didn't he? There was no sort of long blues attempted or anything, because he knows he's got this man under the cosh, and he cannot afford to just give him an easy chance. He needs to keep Thepchaiya under pressure. The black, obviously, that he potted for the 153 will be remembered as one of the great shots of his career, but the red he potted to get in for that 89 yesterday in the decider was a fantastic shot to the yellow pocket. And here, as you see, this red is close to the left corner, so it's another opportunity.
One.
And purposely potted the red as thick as he could there to straighten the cue ball up for a better angle on the blue or the pink. Black is tied up for the time being, it would seem. Now, where does the pink go? Is there room on the spot? No, so it has to go up on the brown spot, so that's
7.
out of the way a little bit for now.
8.
An example of his status, O'Sullivan, when he made the 153, obviously a lot of reaction online, including congratulations from Novak Djokovic. So, you know, that's the level we're talking about. From one great to
13.
another.
$14.
Ronnie probably wanted a little more angle on this yellow than he has. And wanted to be straight on this red, I feel, to the corner pocket, because I think the black pots into the left corner, which he can't play for
16.
now.
17. $22. 23.
Just glanced off the top red, which has deflected the cue ball over to the side cushion, but he certainly has a red that he can pot here, and the cue ball will be running up towards the blue and the bulk colours. Oh, he just missed it by a fraction. Just that extra bit of pace that he gave the shot caused him enough difficulty there. Well, it's a chance for Thepchaiya, but it's not a great one. One is just cannon the blue to the side cushion. The black will only pot potentially to this left corner. Can't play for it here. But if he
One.
can bring the black into play, he does have a chance here, and he's desperate to win a frame and relieve some of the pressure that he must be feeling.
Four. 5. Go. 13.
Didn't really want to cannon the black as fully as he did there. This is a bit of a thin cutback now. And the other problem for Thepchaiya, with the deficit that he still faces,
20.
he is going to need that awkward red welded to the right side cushion there. So a lot of work still for
21.
Thepchaiya to get a frame on the board here.
Well, you could see he was stretching, but the pink's going in anyway. Well, that's what you need. You need a bit of luck when you're under the cosh against Ronnie O'Sullivan. And that was a massive slice.
27. 28.
Well, he missed the pink initially by a long way, which won't make him feel any better. The fluke, though, was critical to his chances of winning this fourth frame before the mid-session interval. Still, as I say, a lot of work to do. He needs that
35.
difficult red that's on the right-hand side cushion there.
36.
Well, the good news is for Thepchaiya, he only needs that awkward red.
43.
He doesn't need necessarily to pot a colour from it. So I think the right thing to do would be to leave a double on the red,
44.
to play it as a shot to nothing. If the red goes in, you've won the frame, barring snookers. If it doesn't go in, you've got a good safety anyway.
Fifty. Thepchaiya Ulung. 50.
Well, such a good shot from Ronnie. You always worry when you play a shot like that, that the cue ball might just deviate a fraction or two from its true course and cause you a problem, but he's played that wonderfully. Thepchaiya can play this off 3 cushions around the back of the black. He can also come between the black and the pink. But he's so tight to the blue, he's slightly hampered. But he mustn't misjudge the angle of this and leave the red on. Where's he playing this?
Wow.
Well, what on earth has he done there?
6.
Can't begin to tell you how big a mistake that could be.
Well, I mean, it couldn't have been any worse. You know, one thing to hit the pink, the in off with the red near the green bag. I mean, it's just as bad as it can get.
One.
There was just a touch of side spin on the cue ball there, which helped Ronnie beyond the yellow. And I wonder if he can pot this and bring the blue into play. Yes, he can. Oh, my goodness me, that's worked out like a charm. And now all of a sudden it's only the brown that's a potential stumbling block, and that's very makeable
3.
too.
5. Eight.
Well, of course, this is by no means the final nail in the coffin, but it is a massive blow to land if he can now take the frame out. It wasn't only that the lead Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh had in the frame, it's where the balls were, blue and brown safe, but the shot he played, of course, snookered, but to hit the pink going off, absolute nightmare.
$17. $23.
One-way traffic then, but this frame was in the balance. Such a big blow to land for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
And yet again, Thepchaiya breaks off and ties the black up. But it's a good cue ball. From Thepchaiya's point of view, you've got to think he's going to have to win this little mini session 3-2 at least to have a reasonable hope of contesting this final, you feel, come the evening session. And now the fact that he tied the black up from the break-off shot is his disadvantage here, because the long red to the right corner he could have played to be on the black ordinarily. Can't play that now. But that's a superb pot from Thepchaiya. And he's right in here. He's on a choice of blue or pink. Can he finally score heavily enough to get his first frame on the board?
Well, the interval maybe has come at the right time for him. It tends to, if it helps anyone, the player trailing, just to collect your thoughts, just get out of the arena for 15 minutes. And maybe remind himself of how well he's played in this tournament, because he wasn't widely fancied really coming here this week, but early on was pretty dominant. Lost just one frame to David Grace, one to Michael Holt, two to Marco Fu, one to Gary Wilson, who of course had beaten Zhao Xingtong as he frees the black. And then yesterday took out the world number one, Judd Trump, with 3 centuries. He scored well in that match.
Well, he's given himself a great chance here. Superb long red to get in with. And now he's freed the black up, and
16.
it's also nudged a lot of these reds into possible positions. He'd be disappointed not to score well here.
Twenty-three. 24.
Well, he's made 26 centuries
31.
this season. That's the most he's made in any season in his career. And it's double the amount he made last season.
32.
6 maximums he's made over the years. So, you know, he is a heavy scorer, Thepchaiya Un-Nooh, at his best.
$39. 40.
Well, with that red below the black, he's got to be careful that if he doesn't play for it, that he avoids the cannon on it when playing for other reds. Controlled the cue ball very well there.
47. 48. 53. 54.
Well, like O'Sullivan, he just scores so quickly. But has to really focus to make sure he puts the frame away here.
61. 62.
Still needs another red after this black. But this is more like it from Thepchaiya Un-Nooh. This is good stuff because he's under the gun here. Really good response.
70. 77.
Well, this should
78.
settle him down no end. It was a superb red to get in with. Ronnie didn't really make a mistake, but he sat out this frame. And Thepchaiya is really only one more frame away from putting Ronnie under a little bit of pressure.
83. Foul.
Yeah, that was pink first, but there's no way back in the frame for O'Sullivan. So an excellent 83 from Thepchaiya Un-Nooh. And he finally puts himself on the scoreboard. It's 4-1. I think there's going to be plenty of time for them between sessions to prepare for the evening, because this has been rattling along, this match.
Well, here's a big shot coming up for Thepchaiya. Long three-quarter ball red to the right corner. Played for the black from it. Well, it wasn't missed by much, but Ronnie can easily pot the red that's just next to the black there. No guarantee of being on a colour from it though, but he'll certainly be taking it on. Just wonder if Ronnie can cannon the leftmost red to hold for the pink to the opposite centre.
something on the white. Zhang Tao, our referee, seeing to it.
One.
Didn't cannon the red as fully as intended, so goodness me, this is black is horrendous shot to have to take on. There's pressure on this. No, he's missed it on the thick side, and little things like that can allow your opponent back into a match. Ronnie was just a little unfortunate that he didn't cannon the red as intended, and you know, things can begin to go wrong very quickly. That's the great thing about this sport.
You could see immediately he'd overcut it. So again, not taking advantage.
Oh, I'm amazed he missed that. I'm sure Ronnie can cut this red into the left centre. I don't think he can see the one near the left corner. I mean, just wants to be on any colour here. Any colour at all will do. Well, he didn't think he could cut the red in. And he's left the second red near the corner. Well, Thepchaiya thought that there was a plant there because he had to take at least the red on that was near the left corner. 4-1 behind with the balls in the open. You're not going to get back into this match playing somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan with tactical play, because Ronnie is one of the best in the world at that. He's on this same red again to the left corner. He's got to take it on. Doesn't have to apply any complicated spins to the cue ball. It's pretty plain ball. And he's knocked it in. Now, is he going to be on a bulk colour? I think he is. Big chance this for Thepchaiya. Look at the position of the balls. The pink's in open play. Not sure if the black's available though.
Four. Five. Eleven. 12.
Did see a brief glimpse of that black and the red in a previous camera shot, and it suggested to me that the black wouldn't pot anywhere, but the pink certainly does. First time these two players have played for 6 years. Thepchaiya's only victory against Ronnie came 12 years ago, way back in 2014, as Dave has already mentioned. A qualifier for the German Masters. But he has been in the top 16 Thepchaiya before. Highest ranking he's achieved was a 15.
26.
That was 6 years ago. He was actually the second Thai player to get into the top 16. James Watson, I remember him. What a great player he was.
Yeah, I think everyone knows how good Thepchaiya Un-Nooh is, but he's very erratic as well. He's very inconsistent, and we've seen that within matches, never mind across a season. But he has managed to keep it going this week so far. Classic case was yesterday. You know, he's missed the easiest pink in the world to beat Trump. You think he'll be an absolute bits, and then he knocks in a wonderful black to win it after all.
$33.
I think as well, when you play the way Thepchaiya does, when you can score and pop balls the way he can, you're more likely to be able to get yourself back into a match from a heavy deficit than you are if you're an all-round player. And of course, the way Thepchaiya plays, that can happen fairly quickly, and it's doing so here.
$46. $47.
Didn't play the best positional shot there. Thepchaiya is going to really struggle now to get onto his next red. Got to cannon into something, you feel. Brown was a risk playing it the way he needed to play it. Now, how's this cannon worked out? Luckily for Thepchaiya, I think it's all safe.
Yeah, and it was just luck, really, because he did flick a red there, but didn't knock it into a potable position. Straight away, O'Sullivan snookers him.
Absolutely, and brought the black into play as well, so that could throw an entirely different light on the outcome of this frame. Got to be careful here, Thepchaiya. That red in the foreground there may be potable from near that side cushion. Oh, I don't think he intended to catch those reds, did he? It looks to be safe again, though. Ronnie just having a look from bulk to see if the two reds close to this left corner could be made into a plant if he were to play a safety into bulk. Thepchaiya is interested in this, and I don't blame him. I know he has a healthy advantage and he doesn't want to surrender it, but it's very makeable. even from where the cue ball is. He's having a go at it. Yeah, no problem at all.
One.
Doesn't have an easy black though from under that side cushion.
Yeah, this feels like the shot, doesn't it? It'd be 54 in front with the black in and enough loose reds to get the frame won. So big shot here.
Eight.
He didn't look like either red. He would have been hampered on the one on the right-hand side, and he's missed that one. So now he's pinning his hopes on the reds that are safe. Ronnie O'Sullivan removing this one. He didn't leave him in.
And now look at the position of the reds. If Ronnie were to get an opportunity, there's only one awkward one potentially. So this 50-odd point lead that Thepchaiya has here may not mean all that much if he makes a mistake. Is he seriously taking on this red? Doesn't need to take on this red, in my opinion. It's a risk. Oh, double kiss there. Could have been a calamity, but he still may have left a red on. Does the red to the left of the cue ball pop past the other one into the left corner? No. Not quite.
Well, he has got away with a couple, Thepchaiya, and that's all part of it, of course. You need a bit of help when you're trailing. Now this red's going towards the pocket. And no cover. So he's needed a few chances, but it's looking like 4-2, and the way that he lost that fourth frame, this is good stuff really from Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh, because the danger, the way he lost that frame, was that he was just going to be completely swamped, but he's sticking in there.
Six.
Just make sure of this one as well. And that should be 4-2.
Seven.
Yeah, it's just run of the ball is beginning to change now in the favour of the Thai player. Ronnie played a very good safety previously, but it was very unlucky that that red that finished near the corner pocket just deflected off one next to it
14.
to leave it there. There's little things like
15.
that that can make a huge difference.
Well, he's done enough. He's 76 in front with 43 on. As I say, you know, there's still a chance for him to be in front at the end of the session. So, very interesting final this. Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. Yes, a bit of running going his way, but he's holding his head up as well. And Ronnie O'Sullivan's 4-0 lead has been reduced to 4-2. So 3 frames left to be played in the opening session of the World Open final here in Yushan, China. Ronnie O'Sullivan was 4-0 up. It's 4-2.
Ronnie can certainly take this red on to the right corner, run through for the black. It's the only red he could leave if he leaves the cue ball fairly parallel to the black. Oh, what a shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Fantastic pot that was. Because he hasn't done that much since the players returned from the mid-session interval. That was just expertly cued. It really was a wonderful pot.
8. 9.
Well, that required perfect cueing as well. Striking down from so near the side cushion. Another great shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan, and he's on the red nicely to the centre.
Seventeen. Two. 23.
Chance going to the reds here. Played it nicely. Doesn't have a straightforward next red, but he'd be happy enough with this.
30.
Funny enough, just before the frame, he just caught him in his seat. He was sort of yawning, as if just, you think, you know, as he's starting to feel the strains of the week a bit, and then he comes out, knocks that great red in, and, well, what a chance for 5-2.
34. 35.
If he wins, of course, the talk around the 8th world title will increase, but it's been such an unpredictable season, hasn't it? You wouldn't want to make any real firm predictions about the Crucible. I know one thing, though, Dom, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, well, you know, a few moments ago I was about to say virtually the same thing, Dave. I'm looking forward to this year's World Championships more than I have for quite a while, because if I take an average of Ronnie's form this week, I'd have to make him favourite, you know, given what he's achieved this week here in Yushan and the way he's playing and the way he's feeling, and also listening to some of his interviews as well. He's almost sounding a little bit like a philosopher, almost like a poet. He seems in a very peaceful place within himself, and it's evident in his play.
51.
Well, he just lost his way here. Red only just went in, and it's not great now on the next shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 51.
Well, Thepchaiya could have left Ronnie an easier starter there, but the red he played has gone safe, but there's a big chance of knocking this one into the right corner for Thepchaiya. And he has, and he's on the black.
One.
So how many of those 51 points of deficit can he erase here with this opportunity? It's not going to be easy. There are multiple reds on cushion rails.
Eight. Nine.
Well, he's very straight on the blue, but he can run the cue ball past the pink to play red to the left corner and maybe stun into the red near the left centre to bring that further into the table. A little surprised he preferred the pink there, but that red that is near the centre is potable from where it is anyway.
15. $16.
And that's perfect, because in potting the pink, if he wishes, he could bring the awkward red into play that's near the right side cushion.
$22.
Just didn't cannon it fully enough to leave it on for a straightforward pot. In fact, if I'm honest, he's on nothing easy here at all. Just at the most important part of the frame when he's beginning to get right back into it. This is the easiest pot that he could play. This red into the green pocket. Yellow pocket, I beg your pardon, but he's missed it.
Thepchaiya Un-Nooh.
I'd be
22.
disappointed not to have made a little more from that.
Well, Thepchaiya got to hold on to these moments, because O'Sullivan has not been quite so clinical in this frame. He was in early on, of course, broke down. That was another chance that he didn't take. You know, at 4-0, the way it was going, particularly the fourth frame, the way he lost that, you could have seen 8-1 easily. It's not transpired. He's in this final, Thepchaiya.
Well, that cue ball was just a whisker away from finding the pocket, and that could have made a big difference. Thepchaiya from in hand could have played a really good safety. But he's brought the yellow into play there. He's got a very good cue ball, but he's unfortunate that the red has remained in bulk. Now, Ronnie can do all sorts with this. It doesn't pot to the centre, but it may pot to the corner. Failing that, Ronnie could run the cue ball in behind the brown if he wished.
One.
Well, we had the perfect view of that, and from the moment he struck it, you could see it was going in.
It's a complicated positional shot from the yellow to get onto the reds, but actually it's not particularly difficult to play. I'll be surprised if Ronnie prefers green or blue in favour of the yellow here. amazed he's playing this green, but he's so confident. But he has missed it. Well, I don't blame him for expressing some emotion there, because
1.
he must be thinking, why didn't I play the yellow? Because it wasn't particularly difficult to take the cue ball around the angles, but you can see, can't you, just what winning this title means to the great Ronnie O'Sullivan.
1.
Yeah, you can't win as many tournaments as he has without being a great competitor and in the heat of battle, you know, feeling it. And he was in a complete position of supremacy in this final at 4-0, with aspirations to press on to a really handsome lead coming back tonight. It's not quite happened.
Nine.
And that was a good red from Thepchaiya, because he tried to previously cannon the other red over the pocket, but just glanced off it. And this next red, this remaining red, isn't particularly difficult. Not that many points behind now.
16.
All the colours in very possible positions. Huge moments, these.
Yeah, particularly after O'Sullivan showed that frustration. This is psychologically now such a big visit, such a big frame in this final. A final that was running away from Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh.
Just coaxed the black in there. He didn't want to do too much, so he's going to have to play the cue ball around the angles here. He needs to be low on the green. Needs to keep running. Is he straight enough on the green to easily play for the brown? I think he is.
29.
Brown, blue and pink still required for 4-3.
33.
What has he done?
38.
What has he done? He's left himself in no man's land. Just needed to finish nice on the pink. What a shot he's left himself here for the frame. But he's potted it. That's classic Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. He's worried about the cue ball. Is the white going to hold on? Just about. Oh, my word. He puts his supporters through it, doesn't he? But it's still a terrific break from Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh, who's now won 3 on the spin. And he's right back in the final, trailing just 4-3. In the opening session, a final that, at the moment, is much closer than it looked like it would be, certainly at 4-0.
Yes, what a turnaround. How intervals change things in all sports. You know, amazing, isn't it? A football team, you go to your dressing room, your coach gives you a bit of an earful, come out, can be a completely different team, and in snooker you can just mull over what's happened in that previous session and try to calm yourself down and work a way back into the match psychologically, come out with a plan. Of course, you need to hope as well that your opponent begins to struggle, and I think that's happened a little bit. Ronnie was just a ball or two away from going 5-2 ahead and still with a healthy advantage, and he would have guaranteed an advantage into the evening session. So with 2 frames to play, we're certainly going to have an interesting scoreline no matter what happens.
I think the main thing is we've now got a final, haven't we? You know, it was early on looking like it was just going to peter out. But suddenly, even though he's still in front, the kind of pressure feels like it is on O'Sullivan. His long game's been good today. It's worth saying that.
One.
Chose your words wisely there, Dave. It's another superb pot from Ronnie, but he just potted it fractionally too cleanly. And that's why the cue ball just caught the bump of the corner pocket jaw. Is the black in as he flutes it? No.
1.
But fortunately, from Ronnie's point of view, he didn't get position on the next red. So Thepchaiya can only play a safety here. Well, that was a big misjudgment from Ronnie, catching the reds far too thickly. Wanted to glance off them, leave the cue ball near the green pocket jaws. Now, if the pink spot's occupied, that would be handy for Thepchaiya. To have the pink on the black spot
1.
could be useful. And if I had to have a guess, I would say that the pink spot is occupied. We'll find out shortly.
Seven. 8.
Well, of course, we're going to see this at the World Championship in these longer matches. Quite often you'll find one player has a purple patch, but it can shift back again. And that's what's happened in this
14.
final. Ronnie O'Sullivan was good value for the 4-0 lead. But he's dipped a little since. Thepchaiya's improved. Little bits
15.
of running have helped as well. All the ingredients you need, really, for a fascinating snooker match.
Well, he smiles, and well, he might. That pink. Well, he'd missed it. He knew he'd missed it. But it just seemed to go in.
51.
Playing it with top and right-hand side caused him to hit the pink too thickly, and it went in. I don't believe it.
That's what I'm saying about running, because, like you say, he'd missed it all day long.
22.
Well, meanwhile, he pots another one, and these things... I mean, the last frame, where he left himself on the pink, you think he's put himself right under it. He seems to live on the edge, doesn't he, Thepchaiya Un-Nooh? He just, that is that sort of player. That's why he's so enjoyable to watch. But needs to just take a few breaths here, because it's a real golden chance to level up.
That pink was very similar to the one he almost missed a few shots ago, and you could tell there that he seemed to play it a little more gingerly. He's not on the red the way he wanted to be, so he's choosing this one as an alternative. But now,
36.
just look at the position of the balls. What a chance for 4-all. What a turnaround potentially.
It's weird, isn't it? Because if it goes 4-all, you feel like O'Sullivan is almost under pressure just to get the lead back, 5-4. But even then, there'd be an air of disappointment. But if Thepchaiya ends up 5-4 up, bearing in mind the way he lost the fourth frame, if he weren't with us, he was snooking on the last red. which was in bulk, and he somehow hit the pink, went in off, left the red on. It looked calamitous at the time, already 3-0 down in the match, but credit to him.
47.
You know, he's kept his composure. And O'Sullivan has started to struggle a bit, and things have turned round.
48.
Played that cannon perfectly. There was no good fortune involved in that.
54.
And Thepchaiya is the player with all the momentum now. Ron has seen this, of course,
55.
so many times in his career. He's had to face adversity like this many, many times against so many great players. But has he let Thepchaiya off the hook here?
Well, this is frame ball for 4-4.
61.
So a stunning turnaround.
52.
And whatever happens now, there's going to be just one frame in it coming back this evening.
$68. 69. 74. 75. 82.
So,
82.
a quick fire 82 from Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. And from 4-0 down at the interval, he's levelled the final at 4-4 with one more frame to play in the opening session. So the last frame of the opening session of an absorbing World Open final in Yushan, China. Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh has got himself level with Ronnie O'Sullivan at 4-4 from 4-0 down. Various elements to it. O'Sullivan's game has dipped, for sure. Un-Nooh's has improved. He's got a little bit of vital running at the important times. It's all part of the heady brew of these big finals. But whatever happens now, it sets it up superbly for the final session later today.
Well, Thepchaiya tempted by the red to the right corner. It appears that he's taking it on. It must be straight enough to avoid the cannon into the pack of the reds. But it wasn't. Had to play it with running side to avoid cannoning into the bunch, and missed it by a mile. But well, it's 4-all now. We've got no idea who'll take a narrow advantage into the evening session. Ronnie O'Sullivan trying to re-establish a narrow lead.
Well, if he could finish on a high, win the frame, yes, but win it maybe in one visit. Just give him good feelings, I think, leaving the arena, because he's looked a little disappointed in his chair, and he's a little disappointed here, I think.
6.
Split hasn't worked out, first glance.
Oh, you're right, Dave. I think everything went wrong there. Oh, he had a plant. And do you know, it wasn't difficult, and the cue ball's going in. It's in.
4.
Now, there's a red in bulk. Where is it? I've forgotten.
6. 4.
Well, as you say, it's unravelling. Be nice to see the table, wouldn't it, at some point? Well, it couldn't be any better. Well, it's the opposite of what I was saying. I was saying, you know, if you could get in one visit, have good feelings leaving the arena, it might be complete opposite here. Everything just seems to be going wrong now for O'Sullivan.
1.
Yeah, and the pack split. you know, he went into the pink 4-ball, caught it 4-ball, and a couple of reds came across, double kissed each other, tied the black up. But I have to say, the plant that he missed, Ronnie, wasn't difficult. And he miscontrolled the cue ball, went in off, and with the red in
6.
bulk. Wow, how things can change.
Seven.
Speed of the bed of this table, lightning fast. He's just high side of the blue, which was very important there. Now, can he somehow bring the pink into play? And I think he may be able to here. If he can pop the red to the left corner and screw into the red above it, he may be able to leave himself on the pink to the centre pocket. That's exactly what he wants to do here.
13.
And that's good enough.
$19. 20.
Well, he's got any angle on the blue. Just a fascinating match, isn't it, this? You know, at 4-0 to O'Sullivan, you wouldn't think you'd find yourself saying he needs the gap between sessions to get himself together, but you just never know in these big finals what's going to happen.
25. 26.
Now, what's the angle like on the pink? Can he screw into the red that's below the cue ball, which would leave him on a choice of 2 reds to the right corner? Obviously not, but he can leave himself on the same red below the cue ball to the left corner. But the problem is there wouldn't be an easy positional shot from that red then. Took a bit of a risk there. Another inch of rolling with the cue ball. He may have covered everything up, but he's played it perfectly. Look at that.
33.
Ah, this is becoming a fascinating final.
Biggest day of his career as well. First term pro, 2009. He won the shootout in 2019, which was a great euphoric moment. Lost in the final of the World Open the following season to Judd Trump. He was 7-2 down there, lost 10-5, so never really in it. But he's playing, well, he's willing the cue ball to hold up, but it hasn't. So another twist. I was going back to say he's playing the greatest ever, and he's on top for the moment. But as I say, another twist here. He doesn't make it easy for himself, does he, Thepchaiya Un-Nooh?
No, I loved his hand gesture there. You don't see too much adverse emotion, do you, from Thepchaiya? But that man there must be seething right now. The way he must feel that he's let this final slip. Oh, where's this red going to finish? Can't go in, surely. Can it? Oh, it can. Oh, I don't believe it.
40.
Oh, that's 2 fantastical flukes that he's had in this match in the same centre pocket, Dave.
Well, that's unbelievable. I mean, is his name on the trophy? Because some of the things happening here you cannot believe. How has that gone in? Unbelievable.
Oh, and at full stretch there, didn't quite apply enough right-hand side to the cue ball to avoid the
44.
cannon on the blue. And, well, I don't think he'll be able to keep the break going now. Not without another fluke potentially, but one thing he won't want to do is to bring the black into play. So what's he playing here? Well, he nearly brought the black into play there. That would have been a dreadful mistake to have made. But Ronnie can bring it into play possibly here. No, much too thick. Played it with a lot of side spin, which pushed the cue ball off initially in the wrong direction, and the side didn't react as well as Ronnie wanted it to. And that's why he caught the red far too thick, and he'll be lucky now to be coming back to the table in this session. Ronnie O'Sullivan was 4-0 behind. 4-0 up, I beg your pardon. But looks like going 5-4 behind now.
Yeah, and he was playing so well. He had breaks of 73, 1-2-4. He stole the fourth frame with a really good clearance. The interval must have helped Thepchaiya Un-Nooh to a degree just to get out of there and refocus. He made 83 in the fifth, and there's been so much drama since. He has improved. He's had some running as well. You've got to say that. My word, he's had some. O'Sullivan's level has dipped, and all the things put together, the match has turned around. I'm sure he'd love to stay out there, wouldn't he, now? But the fact is going to be a 3-hour gap until the final session. But Thepchaiya Un-Nooh this pink, and he's going to be 5-4 in front. Incredible.
And this is why it's so difficult to predict what could happen in any snooker match. Those intervals can make such a colossal difference, and my goodness, what a difference it's made to this final.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one frame in it. It's just the way, though, that it's turned round. At 4-0, you couldn't see any way O'Sullivan couldn't be in front. And the way he was playing, he seemed likely to be a long way in front. But we should know by now, there's no script here. That's the incredible chaos sometimes of snooker.
37.
And that's why we love watching it, of course. And we're going to love watching the final session.
38.
It's going to be a thriller.
$44. 45. 46.
So these are enjoyable moments for Thepchaiya Un-Nooh. I'm sure it's such a great honour for him to play O'Sullivan, but now he's going into the evening session, leading the final with a chance to complete a fairy tale victory. O'Sullivan, in the meantime, I'm sure will welcome these few hours now to get himself together. He's been in every conceivable position in a major final, hasn't he?
58.
Experience will surely go a long way for him in terms of being right and focused when they return later.
62. 67. 72.
Well, sometimes the opening session of major finals can take a bit of time to get going. This has been fascinating viewing from the very first frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan was in control seemingly at the interval. He led 4-0. All the pressure then on Thepchaiya Un-Nooh. He has responded superbly to win 5 on the spin, and he is in front at the halfway stage of the World Open final.
And it couldn't be closer after session 1. Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off. And incredibly, after the start he made, playing catch-up, 5-4 down. Neil folds alongside me for the climax of this, and, well, I don't know what odds you'd have got, Neil, on a 5-4 scoreline for the tie after the situation at the mid-session, but pretty inviting.
Absolutely, and, you know, he's in front coming into the evening session, remarkable. I think if you're 4-0 down against anybody, especially O'Sullivan, if you can get out of the session 6-3 down, you think, well, okay, I've achieved something. But to win all of the remaining frames, which went completely against the run of play early, anyway, we do it all again, and this is where trophies are handed out this evening, so it's not going to be so easy for either player, I guess. Sullivan, been over 2 years since he last won anything. Thepchaiya, as Philip pointed out, well, he's won the shootout in his time. But this is a different ball game. Should be engrossing viewing, though. I mean, it's been a great week. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a lot of discussion about players withdrawing, but I don't think there's been a problem with that at all. With the players that are here, have produced some very eye-catching and enjoyable snooker. No more than the man at the table.
6.
He's done well there. Could only see just about enough of the red for that to be potted.
He breezed through the early rounds in this tournament, beat Mohammed Shahab in qualifying, Barnsley back in February, and then David Grace 5-1, Michael Holt 5-1, Holt another shootout champion whom he beat for the title. Marco Fu 5-2, Gary Wilson who'd knocked out Zhao Zintong 5-1, and then yesterday to beat the 2 times champion in this tournament, Judd Trump, and what a dramatic finale that was. Missed a pretty easy pink, well, very easy actually, which was match ball, and then somehow regrouped and potted a much more difficult long-range black.
He's not finished it very nicely on the red he wanted to be on, the one out in open play, and I think, having thought about it, he ended up not trying to get the rest out and knock it in. Sullivan tapping the table. It's funny, he either does it all the time against an opponent or never, basically, and you could play the greatest shot of all time and he wouldn't have tapped the table, so he's in that more generous mood today on that score. Oh, we hit a red. It moved.
Yeah.
Didn't go very far, but it definitely moved, and it was called as such.
Foul.
It's an amazing roller coaster ride watching Thepchaiya play. I mean, you know, he can play absolutely spellbinding snooker, and then he makes an extraordinary blunder. That wasn't a major one, but it's a bad shot to hit both reds. He's probably a nightmare to play against. I mean, he'd give you chances. On a bad day, he's probably not a nightmare to play, but when he's playing well, he keeps you on tenterhooks all the time.
He had a couple of pretty extraordinary flukes, most notably a red in the final frame of the session into the left centre pocket. So there was definitely some running, and he's just caught the paintwork of that one. I think O'Sullivan will feel he left a couple of frames out there that he should have won, but it's all about tonight now.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of 2-session long match snooker. I mean, he was on the ropes, O'Sullivan, wasn't he? In a big way. Just before they finished after the 9th frame, you could see he just needed to get out of there. It's a mistake. To hit that side of the ball is a mistake.
Made his 9th century of the tournament on his way to that 4-1 interval lead.
1.
It's been an extremely positive week for O'Sullivan, who, as we know, hasn't been playing all that much again this season. Just that one standout tournament when he came within a frame of winning in Saudi Arabia. But not much doing that aside. But we know he's been putting in a lot of work, not just in practicing, but also in remodelling his game, he says, recoaching himself, stripping his game back, and the results have been there for all to see this week. But it would be a bit of a downer if, after all of that and the 1-5-3 break, he came away without the trophy, particularly after the start he made. So there's pressure on his shoulders this evening, there's no doubt about that.
Typical O'Sullivan.
14.
Immediately realising that the red to the right of the black is the one he wants to move, because that opens up the frame, and he's
15.
never shied away from that all his career of playing the shot which unlocks the frame for him. Well, that's
22.
not left anything easy. This red, if he's playing it, is not what he was hoping for there. But is there anything else? I don't think there is. He's got to play this. When you see it from that angle, it didn't look as bad as all that, did it? But
23.
you've got to pot it and get position. It's just the wrong side of the blue, so sometimes things can snowball a little bit when you do lose positional play. And there's an example of it,
Okay.
because he's now out of position completely unless he can play a double or something. Things can get worse during the course of a break. But he has got the double,
29.
and he's now chasing the break, but I think that chase is going to end here.
Yellow ball.
O'Sullivan quite demonstrative again. We saw some of that creeping in
Yushan.
as the match got away from him in the first session after he was threatening a landslide. Just underlines how much it still means to him in his 51st year. He's talked about winning an 8th world title being the final frontier. But he beat crestfallen, I think, if he doesn't walk away with the trophy tonight after the week he's had and the start he made. That was a long way off.
Yes, I mean, he's under pressure tonight, isn't he? I think we saw that, his reaction to that double that went out of position. As you said, you know, he's now sort of been put on the back foot when he was cruising early. It's looking a very different game to when it was 4-0 to O'Sullivan. Might be a bit quite handy that never went in, because he'd have been faced with a really difficult black. Goodness, this is close, and these two balls are very, very close here. Oh, what a remarkable pot. I think Thepchaiya was happy enough to leave that. Pressure on this next shot, though, the black thin. O'Sullivan also may feel that the run of the ball certainly turned horribly against him earlier. Thepchaiya was very good, but he had 2 or 3 pretty enormous strokes of good fortune in those 5-frame flurry of his. And that is an absolute dream of a shot. That was a beauty. Wonderful cueing.
The way he stood up to the pressure exerted by Wu Yize as he just misses the reds there. And the way he finished from 40 odd behind with that brilliant initial long red into the yellow pocket before making the winning clearance was so impressive. Able to keep the break going.
Be a bit concerned that his control of the cue ball in this frame has not been up to his usual immaculate standards. You see, there's an example. The frustration is there. Normally he's got the cue ball on a string, as we call it,
22.
but it's not been like that. It's been an adventure. And this frame is not over. That was a shot ball out of frustration going for that red, I think. May have had safety in mind.
.45 in it, but still 67 available, and nothing particularly safe either.
Well, he's going for a plant here. This is fiendishly difficult, but he's trying to get the cue ball back down to where it is now. It's along the cushion below the black. Well now, Thepchaiya has got something to go at here. There is that red that's gone right up to the bulk cushion, which is a bit of a problem. It's almost in the golden ball area, isn't it, of that event in Saudi. That's the red that will be of concern. So he's moved it already. Goodness me. Tell you what, if you can pop this yellow and get on a red, it's a good chance. There's a long way to go in this match, but this feels like a significant moment. It's a frame O'Sullivan has dominated, and he would be spitting feathers if he lost it, I think. What a chance.
11.
He must come round and look at the green. It looks the only shot here, doesn't it? In amongst all of his brilliance, there is always something that can happen that you don't expect from Thepchaiya, and he doesn't want that to happen here because
15.
I think you do well to ever see a better chance. That's okay.
He hadn't been past the round of 16 in a tournament before this season.
19.
Hadn't been in a ranking semi-final for 4 years.
20.
Well, this feels all about just that shot from blue to pink, doesn't it? You feel that if he gets in behind the blue, he can land under the black cushion, and then there's nothing to stop him winning this frame.
$23. 25.
I think there's a very worried look on O'Sullivan's face because this frame looked to be in the bag. If it carries on in the same trend as we saw earlier, that will be a worry for O'Sullivan. Huge shot this, getting nicely behind the blue.
33.
That's absolutely perfect. Just got to judge this and not get snookered by the black. It's quite a big area to play into.
37. 43.
This for his 6th frame on the bounce in the World Open final. Incredible. More of the same from Thepchaiya. O'Sullivan hasn't been able to change up the narrative. And now the Rocket is really under the pump. The underdog leading by 6 frames to 4. And has now lost 6 on the bounce. And that was a very fine clearance from Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. O'Sullivan was firm favourite to win the frame, as he was a couple of times in the earlier session, but didn't finish it off and paid the price. O'Sullivan said after his victory against Wu Yize that he likes his bottle. Well, he's going to need to display plenty of that now. Much to be done if he's to claim that record-extending ranking title tally. Bit more pressure on those now.
Yes, and we saw in that last frame, a frame that really O'Sullivan dominated for about 75% of, that the frustrations were obvious. You know, he couldn't get the cue ball under the control he wanted. He was showing his emotions. And I think he just needs to stop the rot first and foremost, because the way Thepchaiya is playing, you know, another half an hour of this and he's almost there. How quickly that he does damage. He obviously doesn't want to leave that red on the left corner, so what does he actually do here? I wouldn't describe him as the most patient player I've ever seen when it comes to a safety battle.
Talking about bottle and metal, whatever adjective you want to describe, he's certainly shown plenty of that this week, Thepchaiya. Remember, he lost the first frame to Trump after Trump needed 4 snookers on the yellow. He's attempted a pretty ambitious-looking plant there.
Well, I mean, that was exactly the point about him having no patience. How on earth has he come up with that shot? I mean, if he's left that red, that was a bit of a sin, really. He's got to play it with a trace, O'Sullivan, left-hand side. But he's somehow won that battle as well. Goodness me, what a moment. I keep saying that. There's been so many in this match.
One.
And there's another one.
He's going to have to knock the blue in, which is not a nice shot to have to play. He completely mishit it, pace-wise. With the red over the pocket, this blue is going to have to drop.
Well, there is Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh in a nutshell. One very poor shot, followed by a barnstormer. And that's what makes him so unpredictable and so dangerous.
Seven.
Yeah, I mean, it was a dream shot, wasn't it? Dreamy, beautiful, cueing. Now, if he can convert it into a sizable break, it'll mean a lot more. Never want to shy away from the big shots here. Looking at red to middle. How costly will that be? Didn't want to play the red over the pocket because he didn't think the cue ball was guaranteed.
Multiple cries have come on Ronnie from his army of fans, and he needs a bit of help at the moment.
One. Eight. 9.
Well, he wouldn't want this to take the same
16.
pattern as the previous, to get a considerable amount in front and then open the door for the clearance.
17.
And that is just so unlike O'Sullivan. His usual cue ball is
24.
immaculate, and that's kind of in between. He can recover this, but he's not. He wouldn't be at all pleased with that shot to finish there. He's always
25.
had great pride in his control. This could have easily stayed out.
28. 29.
This frame all is going to hinge on what happens here. I think he's going to go into these fairly loosely scattered bunch of reds, but he needs to move them.
$34.
Bit of movement, I think. So, what can O'Sullivan do with this chance? Needs to steady the ship, doesn't he? We've
45.
seen a few errors again in this frame, but Thepchaiya unable to take full advantage.
$42. 43.
Yes, I don't think he'll have to do a lot more in the way of opening reds up. The red by the
50.
pink will pot to the left corner.
51.
So I don't think he has to split anything open here. He still decided to do it, however. The risk, wasn't it? I don't think he had to take that risk. It'd be very hard to question O'Sullivan's
58.
shot selection in amongst them, but he opened the door to something going wrong there. This is a tricky little shot, playing up the table against the nap of the cloth.
$59.
It was, but very well negotiated, so O'Sullivan on the cusp of stopping the rot. And Thepchaiya had a decent chance. Saw him stroke in that sublime blue,
64.
but then missed a red to the right centre. And O'Sullivan
55.
has punished. One or two have dropped today that didn't look likely to.
69.
I recall the pink in the first session for Thepchaiya, which caught the near jaw. Quite a lot of it somehow dropped in. The pink played a pretty prominent role, actually, in the first session. All sorts going on that ball. But this is exactly what O'Sullivan required, because you could see the mercury was rising. He was becoming frustrated with some of the errors he was making.
74.
This is much more like it. And now within sight of a 10th century of the tournament.
81. 82.
Yeah, I think he really could do with it here. A century break. I mean, it's not like he's any stranger to them. 1,321 already
89.
going into today, but right now it just restores a bit of confidence. And he stopped the rot. Thepchaiya had a
92.
good leave early in the frame, which he made very little of.
96. 101.
Difficult to subdue the rocket for any length of time.
107.
Thepchaiya seeing his 6-frame winning streak ended with a century. The 10th of the tournament for Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's perked his fans up. Come on, Ronnie, they shouted. And he has delivered for them to close the gap to 1. Ronnie O'Sullivan returning to form
Starting to break.
with a century, his 10th of the tournament, the 34th of his season, to close the gap to 6-5 on Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. Not the best break-off again, though, from O'Sullivan.
One.
Now, can he control this? Because he's got a bit of an angle on this black, and well, I don't know if you can just drop this in and go through the gap. He might have to play a cannon instead. He's got to make sure that he's clear in thought here, because he can obviously get ahead of himself at times. It's what he has always done. But a beautiful player, based on instinct as well. It's getting the balance right, isn't it, that he sometimes struggles with. Never lose that instinctive, gifted way of playing, but sometimes just take a second or two to weigh things up.
Something about this tournament that clearly agrees with him, because aside from his performances this week, he was runner-up to Trump in 2019. He was also a semi-finalist at the World Open in 2016, losing to Carter.
17.
So he's tended to save his best performances for this tournament. Oh, but he's caught the jaw, and this time, unlike that pink I referenced from the first session, as he nods in ironic fashion, the black does not drop.
I think O'Sullivan missed a similar black to that, didn't he? When he had the black cleaned and the cue ball cleaned earlier in the week, but that was pretty much a sitter.
One.
It's not easy to get on a ball here. I mean, there is that red out, but of course it won't go into the black pocket with the black over there. How can he get from black into the red? It will take some shot here to open these up. Got into it too much. It's not as bad as it looks. Okay.
Nine.
Into the pink here. Full ball if he can to get the reds open. Playing at a breakneck speed, these two, aren't they?
14.
Yeah, the first session of 9 frames was done and dusted in 2.5 hours, including interval and breaks between frames. But the break ends
14.
early for O'Sullivan, so the missed black not proving too expensive for Thepchaiya.
Well, there's a good safety shot that he's played, that is for sure. He's applying a bit of pressure to O'Sullivan. Who replies with a good one of his own. Well, he's left something at this left-hand red, but it's not a particularly pleasant shot to play, I don't think, over a ball. This is one that you could leave right over the pocket if Ronnie decides to play it. Well played.
1.
See, we're sort of from that side view. I think it was quite an awkward shot that he made look fairly easy.
Four. 5.
No chance to get these 6 reds in play if he wants to play it. Top one goes, and it was like the previous frame where he went into the reds when there was one available. This time I think he's taken a lesson from that.
13.
Well, there's one way of opening them, I suppose. Playing around to the red on the cushion and then playing onto the black low and getting into them that
19.
way. So this next shot
20.
might be the one that either wins in the frame or keeps it in the balance. Looking at a red to left middle here. I think feels he can get through to it. It must be close.
28.
Bit of work to do, clearly, but just signs that O'Sullivan is very much getting back into gear. Would have been a bit of a shock to the system, I'm sure,
35.
when he left the arena a frame behind, having been 4-0 up, with designs on an unassailable lead at that stage of the final.
36.
But what he has that Thepchaiya lacks is huge experience at the sharp end of big matches like this, when the title and the winner's check is on the line.
43.
Red, black, red he needs.
44.
I think he knows that he doesn't need a colour with this, which helps. He can play it. He doesn't have to play right
51.
behind the black at medium pace. He can drop it in, finish low on the black, which is what he's done.
52.
So he stopped the rot, it's safe to say, by these last couple of frames going his way.
And although the miss black
59.
wasn't expensive in terms of O'Sullivan's initial counter-attack, it did cost Thepchaiya the chance to make a big break himself, and it was a fairly routine pot that went astray. He had a chance in the previous frame as well, Mr. Red. And in pretty quick time, that 2-frame cushion
67.
has vanished.
68. 75.
So enough there for back-to-back centuries for O'Sullivan.
77. 8.
Normal service well and truly resumed.
84. 89. 95. 102.
Brilliant stuff from O'Sullivan. What a way to respond to adversity. And listen to that roar for the Rocket. Back-to-back centuries, having lost 6 in a row. He's now level, and it's a best of 7 from here on in the World Open final for the title. 6 each. And Thepchaiya Un-Nooh sees his 6-4 lead disappear. So they both need 4 for the title. 1 more to come before the final interval. Hit that way too thick. So Thepchaiya is going to get another early chance in this frame. He had a pretty good one at the start of the previous frame after another indifferent break-off from O'Sullivan. Knocked in the long red, but then missed the black off its spot.
Well, it was another one that was there. It was not easy, but the damage that he'd done might be more significant.
1.
Because O'Sullivan is sort of seemingly back now, isn't he, to the form of earlier. And given a couple of chances to get his confidence going now, and he very rarely needs a second invitation.
8. 9.
Pretty exhilarating level of play, though, isn't it? You know, you're seeing a lot happening in a very short period of time in this match.
16. 17.
'Ah, that's a good shot. I think he's on that red, just about. Certainly from that view we had, it appeared he's
24.
able to get through to it.
25. 32. 33.
'It's pretty good stuff, isn't it? The balls are really thumping into the back of the pockets as if he is playing with a little bit of adrenaline pumping through his veins. And why wouldn't he? He's not won a ranking event of his own for over 2 years, despite his glittering career. It's been a bit of a barren spell, but worth saying he's not played in everything. Far from it. But he's here this week.
World Grand Prix in Leicester, January 2024, the last time that O'Sullivan lifted a ranking trophy. He came within a frame of doing it in Jeddah this season. A brilliant break denied him by Neil Robertson in the title match.
Yes, that was on the back of the Masters, wasn't it? That match with Ali Carter, which he won, which was a quite ill-tempered game, and then he went straight to Leicester.
54.
That was, feels like yesterday, but like you say, it was a couple of years back now.
55.
But how quickly both of these players can change the narrative of a match, and now it's O'Sullivan doing so. 6-4 down, seemingly reeling, looking cross, looking out of sorts, and now threatening 3 centuries and a bounce to go in front at the interval.
$63.
Yes, and these 3 frames that O'Sullivan looks like he's about to win. Certainly when this red drops, you can safely say that
59.
it's going to be his frame. In all of them,
7.
Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh has had a chance. Now this frame, probably the most difficult, one red into the right corner. And the 2 previous, safe to say, very good chances, which didn't go very far.
77.
Yes, at 4-0 down at the interval, I'm sure Thepchaiya would have bitten your hand off to be only 7-6 down going into the final interval, but it's all about context, and he has had chances
85.
to build a lead this evening beyond the 6-4 that he had,
86.
and his failure to take them have been clinically punished by the GOAT.
I mean, that's just a delightful shot, isn't it?
92.
It's so easy to push that red past the middle on that shot. It's not so much the cannon, it's how hard you hit it, but he played it with a wonderful touch.
Well, this is some burst, isn't it? This red for his 3rd straight ton from 6-4 down. Right in the middle.
100.
There's no player like him.
You're right, there's no player like him, but he's reminded us this week that he still got it, because there were people starting to wonder, I have to say that.
104.
You know, clearly he doesn't play like this all the time, but it's still there. It's still in him, as we saw in Saudi with those pair of 147s he made. The magic is still in there.
109. 111. 140.
He's a great advertisement for what's possible in life past your 50th birthday. Still playing this game like a young man.
118.
Hasn't slowed down one iota. If anything, he's sped up. This has been whirlwind stuff from the Rocket.
126.
Just a blur of brilliance.
$129.
And the crowd are loving it. Wonderful. A 136 total clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. His 3rd consecutive century and his 4th of the World Open final. And from 6-4 down, having lost 6 in a row, he's now won 3 in a row in breathtaking fashion. And so going to the final interval of this ranking final, it's O'Sullivan 3 away from the title. He leads Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh by 7 frames to 6.
1.
Terrific red, not quite on a colour though. I think he's one of those where he wanted to sort of put that cue ball quite close to the right cushion because the pot was not guaranteed, but now it went in. Probably wishes he was a bit closer to a bolt colour to pot it. He might have to play safe here.
Un-Nooh 1.
O'Sullivan owns most of the records in this sport and set another one this week, of course. But one thing he hasn't done is make 4 consecutive centuries in a professional match. It has been done a few times before. The likes of his great class of '92 rival John Higgins did it against O'Sullivan. That was in the final of the old Grand Prix back in 2005. Murphy, Robertson, Gary Wilson, Stephen Maguire, Mark Allen, among the others. But it's Thepchaiya who stroked that in very nicely, who gets the first real opportunity in this frame.
Good shot, wasn't it? I mean, you've got to be very trusting of the table, I might add, to play that shot. I mean, you can play snooker on any table in the world, but you play a shot that gently to a narrow pocket opening, and
6.
it can just drift offline very easily.
He's left himself awkward here, though, close to the side cushion. Oh, that is a really good pot. That's an excellent pot from Thepchaiya again.
Yep, he could do with this. He really could do with this break amounted to something after that good opening red. Needs to stem the flow, and it's been a match where players have found themselves, you know, both at some point have had to do that once already. It is a half-decent chance. It's just a question if he can get from colour to red. The 2 reds above the black on either side of it are in nice positions. Not an easy angle on the green to get on a red, though. Not bad.
Ten. I
think this juncture of the match you can afford no easy slip-ups now. There's been a couple have got away before the mid-session, but not at this point now that O'Sullivan is backfiring. And he knows that
18.
this is going to have to go quite big here.
Now
this black is the sort of shot he's hit to the near jaw a couple of times today. Not this problem this time, that was well played. Did it on a pink which went in. Don't know how, and we saw that one missed earlier.
26.
Same sort of an angle. But he played it well because he got a nice cannon. There you are. There's Thepchaiya Un-Nooh for you, taking on the huge, expansive shot through the bunch.
Bit of pressure on this black, though, again.
Beautiful. Beautiful shot. You're right, there was pressure on it, wasn't there?
34.
Well, to have taken this break this far and to have had the red spread round so invitingly, he's done well, and now he has to convert it.
He looked a little anxious as that cue ball was coming to rest. And he's overcut that red, so the break ends when it was beginning to look good for 7 each for Thepchaiya.
And the cue ball just ran into a place there, and you think, well, look, surely there must be something on. The reds are so beautifully spread around, but you realised that it was not a nice shot he was left with. He was always cutting that too thin, wasn't he, as you could see. So,
1.
he's not made enough from the chance. So this now probably is the biggest moment in the match we've seen, and we've had a few already, but if O'Sullivan can win this frame from here, then all of what's gone before will not be bothering him. Well, he'll be beside himself with anger at missing that. The brown only just went in, didn't it, the shot before? You know, you felt that the pressure that we didn't see in those 3 back-to-back centuries just crept back in there. Well, now, wasn't that interesting? There's a bleeping phone or something going off, which can't be helping either player very much. I can't imagine it's doing any good.
That was a chance for O'Sullivan to inflict some real pain, as he did in the 4th frame of this final, which feels quite a long time ago now. Stole it on the black for 4-0 after Thepchaiya, playing out of a snooker, had gone in off the pink. But this time O'Sullivan has missed. Vital that Thepchaiya finishes the job here and makes it 7 each.
$14, 15.
Just this red required. There'll only be 51 left. Another eventful frame. In what is turning into a compelling final. It really is. Quick fire stuff, breaks galore.
28.
And pretty
29.
dramatic shifts of momentum left and right. O'Sullivan would have fancied his chances of 8-6 there.
35. 36. 42. 43.
It's a frame he really needed. It took him 2 bites of the cherry to get it won, but, you know, that's okay. Doesn't matter, really. You've got to make centuries. I mean, if anything, the most significant part about this frame was the red that O'Sullivan missed, which he overcut quite by a long way. We saw it behind the line. You know, you knew immediately it wasn't in.
55.
The pressure
59.
now, of course, will intensify as we head towards the climax of this final. Thepchaiya has never been in this position in a conventional
64.
ranking final. Yes, he won the shootout, but how is he going to handle the weight of the occasion
70.
if he gets the chance to close this out? That's a question still to be answered, but in the meantime, he clears the table after O'Sullivan had the chance to counter. Mr. Red And we're level again in this wonderful World Open final. It's gripping stuff. You can't take your eyes off it. And it's 7 frames apiece. They both need 3.
Frame 15.
What a finale we're set for here. 7-all now. Thepchaiya restoring parity in the 14th. He trailed 4-0. He led 6-4. He trailed 7-6, and now we're level again.
Yes, I mean, O'Sullivan's problem there was he had the cue ball under control, back to bolt, but you don't know if you miss the red that it's going to crash into a bolt colour or something. So I was going to say he's got away with it, but he has left a long red. Is it worth the risk, he's thinking, because the black looks tied up. I mean, it was an interesting shot, really, because he's got the red up the table. It's not as if he can play it as a shot to nothing with the red there, so he was all in for the shot. And all in is what how he plays his snooker for the most part, isn't it?
Four. Five.
Well, it's a chance he can make into a good one. It's just that red to the left of the black, which is currently a problem, but he might be able to do something about that. What's he played here? A bit of a shake of the head. You don't normally get much out of him. Yeah, well, I think if he could pop the right-hand red there, the one next to the black, that would be ideal. But if he could pop the other one and just glance the bottom red and be on the black that way, it'd be even better. He feels he can't do either of those things.
11.
Interesting. I thought he could possibly play that, but I mean, he is a wonderful break builder and scorer. He was quite close there to being in position A and getting on the awkward red by the black.
$16. 17.
Better the table is quick again, isn't it, this week? That one went further than he wanted. He wanted to be in behind the blue. But as we saw, there were reds all on into this left corner. Fairly decent options. Now that is a nice shot. He now has the right angle on the blue to play down for a red. But the red he wants is the one by the black, and as ever, he plays the big shot.
27.
Yes, and again, a shake of the head. He might feel if he screws back, he's going to hit the red that's going to be underneath the line of his cue. Yes, he's got to avoid that red by his bridge. He used the pocket very nicely there. That was a better shot than it might have looked.
35. $36.
It's been a break with quite a bit of toil. It was a risky opening red, which he
41.
took on, seemingly fearless of what could go wrong on it.
42.
And he's done a lot of the groundwork, but he's just got to convert it into a frame winner and keep the pressure on Ronnie O'Sullivan.
$49.
Feels again as though a mid-session has really changed the dynamic. O'Sullivan absolutely flying pre-interval with those 3 centuries.
57. 58.
But Thepchaiya now closing in on back-to-back frames. Knocked in a good long red after O'Sullivan had taken one on,
65.
screwing back to baulk, but Thepchaiya had his hand on the table
66.
and he's taken the opportunity very well.
Well, he's playing against the greatest break builder the game has ever seen, who's knocked in 3 back-to-back
76.
hundreds in this evening's session. But this break from Thepchaiya has been one that O'Sullivan will be proud of himself.
74.
I mean, he's been superb.
He's been no slouch in the century-making department himself, Thepchaiya, this week. He's made 8 of them.
81.
What an entertaining match this is. It always looked very lightly, of course, with these two,
82.
but it's certainly living up to all expectations. It's exceeding them, if anything, because most of the money would have been on probably a comfortable O'Sullivan win today, which looked likely when he led 4-0. But now we've got a real thriller on our hands.
You can see that he's taken low-value colours in this break. 4
97.
blues and a green and a brown. So he's had to work very hard, is what it tells you. To keep position, he's never able to just target the black and surrounding areas.
105.
It's absolutely brilliant stuff, this.
107.
4 centuries in a row, 3 of them from the Rocket. And now the tie joining the party.
110. 114.
And he makes this game, when he's in full flow, like O'Sullivan, look ridiculously easy.
119.
Yes, I mean, it's, you could argue, the biggest match of his life, and yet he's playing as if he's knocking around, having a little practice before
125.
the match, never mind during it. It's Amazing stuff.
Brilliant viewing.
132.
A 1-3-2 total clearance. What a way to respond to a 3-century blitz from O'Sullivan. Thepchaiya not going away by any stretch. And now leading 8-7. You'll certainly feel a little discomforted by the stickability of Thepchaiya, who's now within 2 frames of his finest hour as a snooker professional.
Oh my goodness, what a shot that is. And look what he's leaving. I mean, I know he hasn't missed it, but he's leaving the world for O'Sullivan if this doesn't go in, but he doesn't seem to care. No thought of missing. Isn't that a wonderful attitude to have? You know, this is a, as I said a few minutes ago, it's a massive game for him.
8.
But he will not take a backward step.
When you think of the moments in this tournament that could have completely derailed him,
Right.
losing the first frame of his semi-final to Trump after Trump needed 4 snookers on the yellow, missing that pink for the match against Trump, and then knocking in a wonderful long-range black.
16.
He really is standing up to it.
17. 24. 25. 32. 33.
Interesting what he's going to play here. They've had up the table. It might be a safe option to the left of the blue, but it's not straightforward off this black to get onto anything else. Well, he's played it with left hand running side, I think. Again, not holding back with his shot selection. And it's hard to get that side of the table from the angle he had on the black, but he just put a lot of side on.
41.
I hope he doesn't get too bogged down with reds and blacks here, because I don't see any value in even making a 147, never mind trying for one, given that O'Sullivan's made a 153 this week. It might be his best vehicle for scoring, but I just don't want him to take any, undue liberties in the quest for a 147 while the frame is live, because there would be just nothing in that for him. He wouldn't even win the break prize, of course. So I think try and find a way of winning this frame.
56.
Still, I would like to see him do it, of
57.
course, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's of any value. Well, he's played on the plant, despite the fact that he's got a loose red up there. Wow, this is a
64.
serious shot he's playing here. Wow, he's playing the middle red, a plant to middle. Oh my word, what a shot he's played there.
65.
He needs another red, and he must ensure that he gets this frame one and doesn't get enticed into anything else. It's magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent to watch.
We've had 4 centuries in the last 4 frames. We're on course for a 5th, but how big is it going to be?
73.
In a season that has shattered the maximum break tally for all time. The record set last season of 15. We've had 22 already this. O'Sullivan, of course, owns the highest
8.
ever tally of 17.
Well, he could make one now. That's fine. I mean, why would he listen to me? Goodness, he's just a
81.
bit of a one-off, isn't he, this fellow?
And to be producing this with so much on the line for him today. After O'Sullivan had hit him with 3 big punches to retake the lead.
58.
He will be very impressed by what he's seeing, but also concerned.
Of course, the spectators would like to see one. There's no doubt about that.
89.
But more importantly, this frame is over.
What a shot that is. What a shot. That's one of the shots of the season.
96. 97.
This would be impressive at any time, but at the sharp end of the biggest match of his life, all the more so. There's the century.
104. 105. 112.
Well, he's got an angle.
100,
It's a natural to come up from black to yellow. This is just spellbinding stuff, isn't it? It really is. The opening red was out of this world, and the break has been on a similar wavelength, really. They're just fabulous.
122.
He's made 6 before. Of course, he famously missed the final black a couple of times at the UK Championship, and then again in the qualifiers for the World Championship. The biggest compliment you can pay him is that this snooker is O'Sullivan-esque.
Yeah, I mean, how many players could you say that about in the game? Just a handful. Most of them are ranked higher than Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. And it shows you just what a sort of mystery player he is, really. This has been sensational.
134.
What a week we are having here in Yushan. The highest ever professional break from O'Sullivan. And a 147 from Thepchaiya in the final, at the sharp end of the final. Congratulated by the Rocket. That was genius from the man from Thailand. Absolutely sensational stuff. And he's now on the cusp of winning his first major ranking title. 9-7 up. This has to be one of the greatest ranking finals we've ever seen now. Ronnie O'Sullivan, remember, made 3 centuries in a row to recover from 6-4 down to lead 7-6, having at one stage led this final 4-0. And now we've seen back-to-back centuries and just now a 147 from Thepchaiya and Un-Nooh. So 5 centuries in 6 frames. And a maximum break to go with O'Sullivan's record-breaking 153. What a tournament, what a final. And what has O'Sullivan now got left? Because he must have felt as though he was perhaps breaking the back of this match when he put those 3 tons together to lead again. But that has inspired Neil Thepchaiya to even greater heights.
Well, that was just unbelievable, wasn't it, what we just seen there? It's hard to imagine anything like it. I think he's going for this one as well, by the way. Oh, my word. What a shot that is. What a shot. I mean, I was only saying that he didn't want him to come unstuck going for reds and blacks in the last frame while the frame was live. I didn't mind him making the 147. It was just incredible. And he just plays by his own rules, doesn't he? But he's got to get a match one here, and that's the only thing. I'd make an argument here that he's almost got to win it here and now, because if he doesn't, then it might get difficult again. But at the moment, he is in a very special place with his game.
And if he does do it, talk about doing it the hard way. Remember, he beat the world #1 Judd Trump in the semis. And now he's on the cusp of doing the same to a rejuvenated O'Sullivan. How are the nerves? Well, seemingly without them on the evidence of the previous 2 frames. And I think it's fair to say he's not going to die wondering.
No, but has he covered everything? That's the question.
9.
I mean, really, how can he not be on a ball here? The reds have gone in all directions, but they're all stacked up with each other. Again, typical Thepchaiya played the brown. He's gone all in. I wouldn't like to play poker with him, because he's without fear, it seems. Could have played on a red or 2 that was loose. He's on the back of a 147.
You've got to say he's extremely unlucky there, isn't he, not to land on something.
He might still try to pop one here, red to middle, but I mean, it's not nice. He's colliding into other reds. How does he pop the red and get on a colour? Oh my word, that's dropped in now. It's gone all round the pocket. What a shot. What a shot. How can you doubt him? Now he's got everything in front of him here. This is the biggest passage of play of Thepchaiya Un-Nooh's life. He'd be 41 on the day of the World Championships, the first day of the World Championship, 18th of April. He'd be 41. He's not a young player. Although he plays like a teenage sensation, doesn't he?
18. $25.
He'll never get a better chance to win a major ranking event than this. Yes, he's won the shootout, but this isn't the shootout. It's a huge event here in Yushan. And he's playing against the greatest player of all time. It would get no better for Thepchaiya Un-Nooh to win this match.
32.
Watching Thepchaiya sometimes isn't good for the heart rate, but how is his right now? He seems cool, but there's pressure on every one of these balls. What it would mean to him to win his first major ranking title, the shootout aside, to beat O'Sullivan, to do it, having beaten Trump, the world #1, and of course in the process to get himself into the Tour Championship as well.
Yes, he just had to stop himself there. He just seems content on playing all the big shots. You know, he wanted to play on that red to right corner to clear the black, as if anyone was even
48.
thinking along those lines at this stage.
49.
And the long red to get in was just sensational. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Well, I think the heart skipped more than one beat there.
56.
And he's just taking a moment to reflect on very nearly a calamitous miss.
He's got to use that as a positive, I think. He's got to use that,
57.
because that could easily have stayed out. He's got to say, right, okay, that was the moment that where things could have unravelled, but they didn't.
He's had a great week, O'Sullivan. He's broken another big record. But is it going to end on a sour note for him? But if it does, it will be because of one of the best performances you'll ever see in a final. When the stakes are as high as they are, Thepchaiya has delivered. O'Sullivan needs a snooker. He was 4-0 up. It looked like a landslide at that stage in the Rockets' favour. What a turnaround. What a performance.
Well, this is some of the best snooker I've ever seen. I don't think you can play better than this under pressure. I really don't. You know, breaks of 132 or 147 and all of these, and from nothing. It's just incredible. You can't play better than this.
83.
He seeded 41 for this event. 41. How on earth is he that low? He is a very special player, and this has been quite something.
Hadn't even been to a ranking semi-final in 4 years. Hadn't been past the last 16 this season.
91.
But what a wonderful talent he is. He's an absolute credit to the game. Sport is about entertainment.
96.
O'Sullivan knows that better than anyone. And this guy is born to do that. Unorthodox, unconventional, erratic at times, but sensational at his best.
104.
He's finished with 3 centuries, including a maximum, after O'Sullivan hit him with 3 tons. Incredible.
109.
It's been an amazing season for feel-good stories. Jack Lisowski winning, which was something. But this is right up there because it's unexpected. For so many years, a sort of a talent that's unfulfilled, but this is special.
124.
What a story. From 4-0 down, Thepchaiya Un-Nooh has stunned the great Ronnie O'Sullivan to become World Open champion. The Rocket congratulates him warmly. It's the greatest day of Thepchaiya's snooker life. He's beaten the world #1. Now he's toppled the greatest of all time for a famous win. And what a tonic for the game. Absolutely brilliant. 3 total clearances to finish, including his 7th maximum break. Pressure, what pressure. Thepchaiya Un-Nooh, World Open champion.